I personally took interest in establishing Test for Uganda because of my personal story. I grew up as an orphan, and I saw the hardships that I went through, and having had an opportunity to start teaching at university or working at the university, I noticed a number of students who were like me or who are like me and who continue to be like me. They were brilliant. I believed I was brilliant, but I got to a point where I could have dropped out of school, not because I didn't have the brains to continue, but simply because I didn't have the funds. Test for Uganda, which is short for the Tertiary Education Scholarship Trust, is a trust that was established to support brilliant students, but coming from hardships, students who cannot afford to pay for their university education. Looking back and fast forward to date, we have sponsored close to 250 students across 6 universities.
I was privileged to be one of the pioneer beneficiaries, and I graduated in 2016. Since then, I've been an alumni, and I'm an alumni forever. I currently work with World Food Program at Arua area office, which covers area of field offices in Koboko and Gulu as well, supporting refugee operations.
I'm a doctor at Mengo Hospital. Mostly I'm in the Department of Pediatrics. We work with children, child healthcare.
I currently work with a local NGO called LandNet Uganda.
I am currently a filmmaker. I write and direct films.
Currently, I am Curriculum Design and Training Associate with Imagine Her Seguku.
My life before the scholarship was an interesting life. I was extremely ambitious. I wanted to get the best out of me. I always believed that I had a lot of potential. On the other hand, my parents couldn't afford anything I wanted. Their dream for me was to finish A-level and become a teacher. And we had a conversation about it. We actually disagreed. I didn't want to be a teacher. So they just told me, we leave you to God. There's nothing we can do for you.
I dreamt of being a doctor. Actually, my classmates used to call me Dr. Hopeful. I was very hopeful, but with a lot of uncertainties. The fact that just be my mother taking care of us through high school. I couldn't think that she could afford to take me through medical school. Neither, even if it wasn't about medical school, I didn't think she'd take me through university.
Like any other student that had just got to university, I was excited definitely to study this course, but always times for examinations, especially in my year, it was worrying. Yeah, things of where am I going to get tuition to complete? You try to call the parents here and there who are also not very able to support. They were doing everything they can, including selling of property here and there sometimes. But yeah, it was full of worry.
My mom was ambitious enough to put 2 students at the university, my sister at MUBS and me at Makerere University, and all of us required lots of money, and yet she's just a restaurant vendor. She doesn't have, her job does not bring a lot of money. So when things became a bit tough, we had to drop out. Both of us dropped out, and we didn't know what to do next or where life was going to go. But after I got the scholarship, then things turned around for us.
All along my life has been lying in scholarship right away from senior 1 up to senior 6. So when my scholarship ended in senior 6, that was with a Child Education Initiative, the hope was weary for me for the university.
Right from the point I applied, I didn't have any money for university, so I was looking for scholarships. And I came to the Senate building of the university, and I found the advert pinned. And when I read through the requirements of a student that needed to apply for the university, I just felt like that was me they were looking for.
I had enrolled into the university in 2012, and a year later I got a dead year because my mother had lost her job. She couldn't continue paying for my tuitions. And when I was at home trying to figure the next step of my life, my uncle, who is actually in Hoima district, very concerned about my welfare, called me and said, I've heard there is a scholarship scheme at your university. Try to go and apply for it and see if you can get sponsored, because I trust that you're brilliant enough for it. And I ran like crazy to the university, picked out the forms, applied, and that's how I got the scholarship.
2 days to the closure of applications, he told me, apply, you might go through. So it was through my school director and Dr. Amanya.
Test for Uganda is quite different. Scholarship schemes would say maybe a cutoff point of you have to have straight A's or straight B's. Test for Uganda, we are interested in the story of each student. We go and read the application forms, and the application form is very detailed because we would like to know right from primary school, which school did you attend? Who was paying your tuition? We want to see the pattern. How were you raising the tuition? And that gives us the story that this is a brilliant student but lacking financial support. Because if you take a cutoff point, you're likely to attract students who went to good schools because they could afford those schools, but were unable maybe to get government sponsorship, and now they appear competitive. But then we want to go for that student who is coming maybe from deep down the village, very brilliant, went to a poor school, but if you put them on the same platform with other students from top schools, you start seeing the brilliance. And indeed, we've been able to see that.
The immediate change in my life, once I learned that I had got the scholarship, definitely my concentration levels, which is why I was even able to perform really good, because there was no worry of now, looking for school fees.
The other aspect for Test for Uganda is the time we invest and in the mentorship for the students that later join the alumni, because we believe that that's the foundation of the Test for Uganda.
I'm also glad to the Alumni Association that has been running efforts to give back. So I made a commitment. I contribute to the Alumni Fund that goes towards giving additional scholarship for students.
I have this passion for children, so I think that's why I found it easy to volunteer at Sanyi Babies Home. I take care of their sick children. I'm also giving back by helping my siblings paying tuition, giving back to the trust fund for Test for Uganda. And I still hope to help more as much as I can.
The Test for Uganda fund that I willingly contribute to and that I look forward to seeing grow and touching a number of lives. But also through the Test for Uganda mentorship scheme, after graduation, yes, fellow members of the TEST family, like I said, those that are still going through school need the moral support, academic support, but also the encouragement to know that there are people that were once like them and they're actually doing much better now. So I give back through, directly to Test for Uganda through that.
I'm intentional on helping my family. The first thing that I wanted to do when I left university was to build a house for my long-lost father. So it's all my salary to begin with was going into building him a home, because his home had fallen to the ground. So he was homeless, really. So Now I managed to put a structure for him.
For the past 5 years I've worked in Teach. Out of my little salary, I have sponsored or paid around 5 girls from Dokolo. Their stories were not very far from mine. They were at primary levels. I can say that one is almost finishing senior 4. She's sitting at senior 4, one of the children I picked up. And I'm also giving back, supporting my follower. I don't know if Tess had not given me this opportunity, she would not even have got anything from me.
Other schemes give money and off you go. You study and you go. But Test for Uganda is interested in making the alumni or the beneficiaries part of the Test family, that they get to know each other, they get to support one another, and they, even when they are graduates, they keep looking out for one another, because that's the spirit, that we are together and we support one another.
Whoever contributed for my own scholarship, I just want to thank them. They didn't change one life, they changed my family. They have changed the lives of other people around us. They are changing the lives of the generations after us.
When an opportunity comes in at the right time, it makes a very big difference. So I cannot thank you enough, because you made my story come true. You helped me to achieve my dreams. And it was at that time, at that point in time. Maybe if it had not been done, life would totally be different.
I thank Test for Uganda for not looking at the competitiveness of the scholars and the scholarship funds everywhere, and what they look at, and basing their target on people who are desiring to study but don't have the financial muscle for the university.
I would really love to thank Fred, Professor Fred. That year, I think I was the only girl picked from the whole of northern Uganda. And I really don't take that for granted. I appreciate him for choosing me. I appreciate the Test Uganda Foundation. They have really done much in my life.
When you look at the applications, I can say that 90% of the students who apply deserve support. Now, because of our limited resource envelope, making a decision that out of the 800, you want to pick out 50, it's a daunting task. It's hard to do the selections, but it's even harder because you have a bad feeling that you're leaving out someone who is going to drop out of school because they can't get support. That makes it a huge challenge. The wish is if we had more resources to support these students.
I would like to encourage the donors to continue with the spirit of sponsoring students to study through the Test for Uganda scholarship scheme, because of the uniqueness of the attributes of people that they look out for, that not only take on the sponsorship of funding, but also the spirit of giving back, the spirit of supporting and ensuring that other people are able to achieve their dreams.
When we support Test for Uganda, we are changing a life, we are changing their families, and we are changing the whole generation.
Because a hand that gives is the hand that receives. Don't get tired, because every other time we give, someone is blessed. Every time we give, someone is uplifted and someone's hope is risen again.
We've also seen a decline in the resource envelope or ability to fundraise, especially post-COVID, that a number of organizations are not, have cut back on their support to charitable institutions like ours, and that makes it even harder to raise finances to support students.
I would like to encourage the funders to continue funding, knowing they are doing the right thing, knowing they are touching someone, and the person they are touching is going to touch another person, because we are always grateful for this opportunity.
I'm a tree planted at my home, but right now I have very many branches. So I beg you, I fervently pray that if you have the hand, please do help plant a tree and the tree will bear more branches for others.